So hello. Yes, everyone. Welcome everyone to another question bank session of professional ethics. Hmm. How is everyone doing? What's up? I hope my audio and video is crystal clear for all of you. Yes, sir. Hi, Isha, Antima, New One, Saksh, Ronita, Naveen, Rishabh. Awesome. If my audio video is crystal clear, please let me know in the chat box. Please let me know in the chat box so that we can begin with today's session and complete the questions of remaining clauses after the yesterday's session. Yes, sir. Let's go. So let's go and let's begin with the questions of clause number 8 to 11 in this session. Sir, if I talk about these points, quickly come to your question number 21. Okay. Come to question number 21 and let's read this question together. It is a new question of January 21 new syllabus. It says there is a CAAB who is a practicing chartered accountant and is a promoter director of ABG Private Limited. Got it, sir. Acha, tell me one thing. Can a CA in practice become a director of a company? Can he become a director of a company? Answer is yes. Which clause? Clause number 11. Once you become a chartered accountant, can you take one more occupation or business? Answer is no. You cannot take one more occupation or business, but you can become a director of a company. There is no problem in that. Got it, sir. Plus, he was a sleeping partner. He was a sleeping partner in the family business of a manufacturing firm. Now you people tell me, can I become a sleeping partner in the family business? Is this allowed? Is this allowed? The answer is no, this is not allowed. Business wala thing is not allowed. For this, you need a specific and prior approval. You need a specific and prior approval of the Institute of Chartered Accountant Council. So how you need to write the answer? Sir, very simple. First of all, we will quote clause 11. Clause 11 says that a CA in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he engages in any occupation or business other than the profession of chartered accountancy unless permitted by the council. Got it, sir? For becoming a promoter or promoter director, there is no bar. You can become the same. There is no problem for the same. But provided it should be a non-executive director. If I talk about sleeping partner in the family business, separately give the answer that you need a specific and prior approval of the council. Interest in the family business, you can say, which is devolving on the person as a part of succession or partition. Again, this is allowed, but again you needed the permission of the council. So for promoter director, not guilty, but for sleeping partner, the person will be treated as guilty. So writing the provision separately and writing the conclusion also separately. Got it or not? Yes, sir. So here your question number 21 is done. I hope you are getting how you need to write the answer. After question 21, come to question number 37. Let's talk about this question. CA Ajinath is a special executive magistrate. Now, since you already know it is a professional ethics question, is special executive magistrate allowed? Is special executive magistrate allowed or not? Give me the answer in the chat box. Yes or no? Sir, I think these legal wala things na were allowed. Justice of the peace, notary public, special executive magistrate, these things were allowed. Got it, sir. He also took over as executive chairman of a software company. Acha, tell me one thing. Is executive chairman allowed? Is executive chairman allowed? Answer is no. He is a leading income tax practitioner and consultant for a derivative products. Okay, sir. He resides in Chennai near to the Ion Commodity Stock Exchange and does trading in commodity derivative. Now, if a CA is practicing, he becomes a CA in practice. Yes, sir. Can he trade in commodity derivative? No, sir. Every day he is spending 40% of the time to settle the commodity transaction. He has not taken any permission for becoming a special executive magistrate, but he got special permission for becoming executive magistrate. executive chairman. So executive chairman wala thing is done. This is now allowed because he has taken special permission. But in the question, is it mentioned that commodity derivatives ke liye he has taken special permission? No sir. For commodity derivatives he has not taken special permission. So how you need to write the answer? Clause 11. Then say general permission is allowed for certain things. One of them is special executive magistrate. This is allowed. But if I say specific permission is needed for executive chairman and commodity derivative. Got it? Now read the facts of the case and say not guilty for special executive magistrate, not guilty for executive chairman because he has taken specific and prior approval. But guilty, sir, guilty for what? Guilty for doing commodity derivatives ka transaction. Good question. Yes sir, a really really good question of question 37. Now come with me to question number 39C. Chalo, let's talk about CA Moni. CA Moni is a practicing chartered accountant since 2009 in the field of company audit. Due to her practical knowledge, she was offered the editorship of Company Audit Journal. Tell me one thing, when I say authorship of the book, is there any condition attached to it? Answer is no. Authorship of any book is allowed, be it professional, be it general. ठीक है sir. But if I am talking about editorship, editorship is allowed for all the journals or only the professional journals? What are your point of view? Let's see who all have revised the topics well. Editorship is allowed for whom? Sir, editorship only for the professional journal. So in this question, the person is doing, CA Moni is doing what? Editorship of Company Audit Journal. Can I say it is a professional journal? Yes. She has not taken any permission. Oh, let's say she is guilty. No, sir. General permission is allowed. General permission is allowed for the same, so she is not guilty. Again, you will quote clause 11. Then say special permission are given for certain activities. One of them is editorship of professional journal, for which specific permission is not required. So she is not guilty for professional misconduct. So clause, provision, facts of the case and conclusion. Deal done? Deal done, sir. Now let's talk about question number 40. Really, really good questions. Messrs SS Limited is a partly owned subsidiary of HH Limited. So there is a company called HH Limited. It has a subsidiary called SS Limited. Got it, sir? For the upcoming financial year, Messrs DD and Company, chartered accountant, I hope it's fine. Messrs DD and Company chartered accountant were appointed as statutory auditor of SS Limited. So DD and Company, these are the auditor. These are the auditor of the subsidiary. The CEO of the holding company was impressed with the knowledge and experience of Mr. D. D was a partner in DD and Company. And he offered D to take up the position of director. So basically there is a Mr. D in DD Company and he wants to make him the director of HH Limited. Got it, sir? At the same time, Mr. D friend approaches him with an assignment to act as a recovery consultant. So this is the second part of the question. Can he act as a recovery consultant for the bank? Now Mr. D is confused whether to accept or reject the offer. He approaches you and seeks your advice on the same. So first part of the question is, sir, what is the first part? First part is, can D take up the position of the director of the holding company? So he is already the auditor of subsidiary. Can he become the director of the holding company? Answer is no. Answer is no. Sir, but Companies Act to allows. Companies Act to allows. What is that thing which is not allowing? Everyone is giving the right answer. Sir, it is the ESB ka guidelines. It is the ESB ka guidelines. Ethical Standard Board says what? Public conscience need to be kept ahead of the law. Public conscience need to be kept ahead of the law. If he becomes the director of the holding company, it will affect his independence as the auditor. So if he takes up this position, independence will be affected. So how you need to write the answer? First of all, you will quote clause number 11. Got it, sir? provided nothing will disentitle the CA in practice from becoming a director of a company, provided he is not interested as an auditor. Then this ESB wala part you will write public conscience to be kept ahead of law. It will affect the independence. So he should not take up this position. But acting as a recovery consultant is covered in general permission. Write the facts of the case and just write the two conclusions separately. Don't accept the position of director, but yes, he can act as a recovery consultant for the bank. Got the point or not? Yes, sir. Apart from clause 11, which other section that you can write here? Which is the other section that you can write here? Sir, along with this, we can quote in our answer section 2, subsection 2, clause 4, because in that recovery consultant is allowed. Got it? Got it, sir. Now let's move to question number 45. Question number 45. Mr. Vinod. Mr. Vinod, a practicing CA, was acting as a liquidator, and he charged his professional fees on the percentage of realization of assets. Now, which clause talks about contingent fees? Clause 10, contingent. Clause 10, contingent, sir, what it says? A CA in practice will be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he charges or offers to charge, if he accepts or offers to accept any professional employment fees that is based on percentage of profits or contingent upon the findings or result of his work, except permitted under the regulation. Which regulation is given? Regulation 192. In regulation 192, what was the list of services that we studied? Sir, CRV, fund management services. CRV, fund management services. C for cooperative society. R for receiver or liquidator. V for valuer, registered valuer. Then fund management services was fundraising services, management services, cost optimization services. Then I told you non services. What was non services? Non-assurance service to a non-audit client. Okay? And last में any other service as may be prescribed. So based on this, can I say receiver or liquidator is covered here in the exception? Yes, sir. So you will just mention the exception and say he will not be held guilty of professional misconduct. Got it? Got it, sir. Now let's move to question number 55. Chalo, sir. Mr. B, a practicing CA holding a valid certificate of practice, accepted the appointment as a director of the Green World Company Limited. Mr. C, the partner of B, is statutory auditor of the said company. You people tell me, can I become a director of company? Yes, sir. Provided neither you nor your partner nor your firm should be interested in the company as the auditor. Because partner is the auditor, you cannot become the director, guilty under clause 11. Balle balle. So clause 11 part 1 first schedule you will quote along with the proviso. Sir, proviso means it does not prohibit a CA from becoming a director except managing director, whole-time director. But if the partner is interested as an auditor, he cannot become the director. Then write the facts of the case and then say, sir, what? He will be guilty in this clause 11. Now you can see, sir, in this answer, ICI has also quoted clause number 4. Why has clause 4 been attracted here? Chalo, tell me this thing. Why has clause 4 been attracted? Can anyone tell me the reason of clause 4? Clause 4, part 1 of the second schedule to Chartered Accountant Act 1949. Acha, haan, remember, clause 4 is not of the first schedule. It is of the part 1 of the second schedule. Sir, substantial interest. So basically clause number 4, if you have not yet covered clause number 4, it will be covered in the subsequent classes. Clause 4 says that if you or your firm, it has substantial interest in the company. If you have substantial interest in the company, you cannot give opinion on the financial statement. You cannot give opinion on the financial statement. But sir, in this case, how was the substantial interest present? How was the substantial interest present? Sir, one of the person is the director in the company. One of the person is director and his partner is the auditor. His partner is the auditor. So if one person is director and the other person is auditing the company, Through this directorship, there is a substantial interest in the company. Through this partner being the director of the company, there is a substantial interest. So along with clause 4, you will say, sir, what? Additionally, section 141 subsection 3c says it disqualifies a person to become an auditor if the partner, or if he is a partner of the officer of the company. You remember this section, POPE. Sir, POPE means POPE. If you are a partner of the officer of the company, if you are a partner of the officer of the company, officer ka definition includes a director. Or if you are a partner of the employee of the company, or if you are the employee of the officer of a company, that means employee of a director or employee of the employee, then also you are disqualified to act as an auditor. Then also you are disqualified to act as an auditor. So see, it's such a good question. Clause 11 gets attracted. Why, sir? Because becoming a director is not allowed. Second thing, you are expressing the opinion on the financial statements of the company in which your firm has substantial interest. Got it, sir? And then section 141 subsection 3c. So hence, Mr. C, the partner of Mr. B, should vacate the office because he is now disqualified to act as an auditor. What do you think about this question? Should this question be just done for once, or it should be marked for your next revision? Tell me this thing. Good question. Tell me, enjoyed or not? Yes, sir. Really, really good question. So everyone should mark question number 55 for your next revision. Now let's move to question number 656. Let's see, sir, what this question is what about. It is little controversial. It is little controversial. Understand. CAD, a CA, prepared a project report for the client. Got it, sir. By preparing the project report, client is able to get bank finance. ठीक है, sir. Of 50 lakh rupees from a commercial bank. Consequent to the sanction of the loan by the bank, CAD raised a bill for the services at 2% of the loan sanction. Now, sir, understand one thing. Can I charge my fees based on the percentage of profits? Can I charge my fees which is contingent upon the work to be provided? Answer is no. Answer is no, but sir, there were certain exceptions. There were certain exceptions, sir. What were the exception which we can relate this part with? In case you are providing fundraising services, in case you are providing fundraising services, then percentage is allowed. Second thing, if you are providing non-assurance service to a non-audit client, non-assurance service to a non-audit client, then also percentage wala thing is allowed. Now, Baba, understand this thing, that this fundraising services wala thing, this ICI doesn't consider it as a fundraising service. ICI does not consider this as a fundraising service, that you are providing the project report to the client, and based on the project report, client is getting the money. This is not a fundraising services because you are providing your opinion. You are not arranging the funds for the client. Got it, sir? So that's why ICI says it is liable for professional misconduct. But recently there has been an amendment by ICI that non-assurance service to non-audit client is allowed, and for this you can charge a percentage. Now tell me one thing, can I apply this provision and say that the CA will not be guilty? Please tell me the answer in the chat box. Now, can I apply this provision and say the CA will not be guilty? Answer is yes, sir, we can. So since ICI has not issued an amendment to this answer, we can apply our judgment that after the amendment, with the exception of non-assurance service to non-audit client added, answer to the above question shall be different and CAD's action will be held valid. So since there is no clarity on this by the ICI, this is my point of view that I am sharing with all of you. Got it? Got it, sir. Now I think we can go to question number 57. Let's move to question number 57. Yes, sir, we are ready. XYZ Limited appoints you as the auditor of the company. Got it, sir. You observe that the previous auditor has resigned. You observe that the previous auditor has resigned, and also balance sheet as at 31st March 2010 shows an audit fees payable of 25,000 rupees. What precautions will you take before commencing the audit work? This question has been asked long back in 2010. It's a question which I feel you should just give a read. So to understand what is the holistic way of looking at an answer. So first of all, tell me, when you are getting appointed as an auditor, what are the things you should consider? Sir, first of all, we should communicate. Clause 8, communicate. We should first of all communicate with the previous auditor. Then clause 9 said one thing, compliance with section 139 and 140. You should make sure your appointment is done properly. One more thing which should get attracted here is, sir, the audit fees is payable for the previous auditor. Audit fees is payable for the previous auditor. So in the subsequent provisions that we will study, sir, in the council guidelines, it is written one thing, sir, what? In case the undisputed audit fees is payable, if it is payable, then in that case you should not accept the audit. Unless it is a sick company. You should not accept the audit. You're getting the point or not? Yes, sir. So, sir, let's see how they have written the provision. They have mixed a lot of Companies Act ka points also here. See what it says. Check whether a statement in the prescribed form has been filed by resigning auditor. You know which form is filed by the resigning auditor? Yes, sir. ADT3. ADT3 I got free in 30 days. This is what we learnt in our CA Inter. Within a period of 30 days from the date of resignation. So as an auditor, I should take copy of that form to know the reasons of resignation. Got it, sir. Ascertain that you have complied with section 139 for the appointment and a new resolution has been put out to fill up the casual vacancy by resignation. Casual vacancy ka section is 139(8). Got it, sir. Plus you should obtain no objection certificate. This no objection certificate is linked to which clause? Sir, this is linked to clause number 8, that you should communicate. And then see whether there are any circumstances that you should not accept the audit. Then, sir, the provisions are related to section 139, 140. For your appointment, proper notice was given. Then a written certificate have been provided by you as auditor that you are qualified to act as an auditor. So clause 8 and clause 9, this is how you need to write your answer. So let us summarize what we learnt in this answer. Being a old question, can I say it taught us a lot? Yes, sir. It helped us to revise our company law ka sections. Whatever company law sections are associated with it, when the resigning auditor leaves, you are appointed as a casual vacancy. Then, sir, you have to give your written consent and a certificate that you are qualified to act as auditor. Plus, you have to obtain a no objection certificate from the previous auditor and just quote clause 8 and 9 and your work will be done. The additional thing that I taught you here was, sir, this one. Council guidelines say that if the undisputed fees is payable, then, sir, you should not accept the audit. Got it? Unless it is a sick company. Done, sir. Question 57, another good question. Now let's move to question number 65. Chalo. Yeah, we are here. CAB is appointed to carry out the internal auditor of a company. He is appointed as an internal auditor of a company and he started his work and submitted the first monthly report. It's a really good question, huh? Just focus. CAZ, a partner of AZA and company, the statutory auditors of this company, during the first visit got to see the internal audit report of CAB. CAZ feels that since CAB did not inform about his appointment as internal auditor to the audit firm, this is a violation of professional ethics. Acha. Tell me one thing. Everyone, please look at the board. Tell me one thing. If there is an internal auditor, who is a CA, is he required to communicate with the previous internal auditor? Or is he required to communicate with the statutory auditor? What does clause 8 tell you? Please tell this. Tell me this answer. Clause 8 says that you have to communicate with the previous auditor or with your side wala auditor. Sir, we have to communicate with previous auditor. We have to communicate with the ex auditor, not with the statutory auditor. So now tell me this thing that is given in this question, that is the internal auditor actually required to communicate with CAZ? Is CAB actually required to communicate with CAZ? Answer is no. So ICI will try to confuse you. ICI will try to confuse you. Don't have to get confused. Clause 8 says communicate with the previous auditor, not with the statutory auditor. So first of all, write clause number 8 and say internal auditor and statutory auditor are parallel position. They are on the same level. This is not a previous wala position. So write the facts of the case and say this is not correct. There is no question of communicating in writing by CAB. Got it or not? Yes, sir. Question number 65, done. Now let's move to question number 66. Another good question of July 21 old syllabus. All classic questions were asked in July 21 exam. Miss Aw and Company Chartered Accountant were appointed as the auditor of Wow Limited. Since they declined to accept the appointment, they did not accept the appointment. Who did not accept the appointment? Aw and Company. So board of directors appointed Messrs GDC and Company. First of all, tell me, if the position of auditor is not filled, is it actually a casual vacancy or not? This is a test of your knowledge of inter. Please tell me. I think this thing we have also covered as an example in our notes. If the auditor doesn't accept the position, is it a casual vacancy? The answer is no. This is not a casual vacancy, Baba. Understand this thing. When there is a casual vacancy, sir, casual vacancy happens when this position is there, auditor is there, he accepts the position, and then when the auditor leaves, this is a casual vacancy. Now as a board of director, I can fill the casual vacancy. But tell me one thing, when the position is there, auditor did not even come. So how can you say it is a casual vacancy? Sir, auditor was not even appointed. So when the auditor is not even appointed, who has to appoint the auditor? Shareholders. Shareholders will appoint the auditor in the AGM. Everyone is right. CA Raja Rani. I remember CA Raja Rani question we did in the book. Very, very good. So board of director appointed Messrs JDC and Company, and GDC and Company accepted this thing. Which clause GDC and Company will be guilty? Sir, clause number 9, because of non-compliance with section 139 and 140. So first of all, quote clause 9. Okay, sir. Then say why is this clause important? Sir, this clause says that you need to ascertain from the company whether appropriate procedure has been followed for your appointment. Sir, why do we need to ascertain? So that in future no one can question the validity of your appointment. So that in the future, no one can challenge the validity of your appointment. This is the supporting line to clause number 9. This is also there in your notes. Then, sir, you will write the facts of the case and say, as per section 139(8), board can appoint the auditor. The non-acceptance of the auditor is not a casual vacancy. So it will be deemed no auditor was appointed. So when no auditor is appointed, existing auditor will continue to be the auditor of company, and jo new auditor is there who has accepted the appointment will be guilty as per professional misconduct. Got it or not? Yes, sir. So this is again a good question related to your material only. Please mark it for your next revision. Now everyone take 2 sips of water and come to question number 67 and type in the chat box ready. Chalo. CA Ritu. CA Ritu is a leading income tax practitioner. CA and practitioner mix it becomes a CA in practice. She likes cooking, and due to the passion of cooking, she wrote a cookery book, Delight Your Tummy. Now you people tell me, is authorship of book only the professional book allowed or all the books? We just discussed when it comes to authorship, it can be done for anything. It can be done for anything. So it says what? She wrote a cookery book, Delight Your Tummy, which is allowed. Answer is yes. She did not take any permission. It was not even required. So the answer will be clause 11. Then you will say general permission is allowed for authorship of books. Write the facts of the case and simply say no specific permission is allowed and she is not guilty. Got it? Got it, sir. Now comes question number 71. Let's see what does the question number 71 talks about. Chalo. A chartered accountant having a certificate of practice enters into partnership with persons who are not the members of the institute. Whenever I am saying partnership with the persons who are not the member of the institute, which clause gets attracted? Sir, clause 4, part 1 of your first schedule to Chartered Accountant Act 1949. For the purpose of carrying on business. Can you people tell me business के लिए which clause will be attracted? Clause 11 part 1 of the first schedule. Once you become a chartered accountant, you cannot do any other occupation or business. The share of chartered accountant in P&L was 25%. He was to take part in the business and represent the firm before government authority. He was operating the bank account of the firm and receiving the monies from customer and looking after the affairs of partnership. So sir, how do we need to write the answer? Simply quote clause 411, write the facts of the case and simply say the person is guilty. So first of all, you will quote clause number 4. Then you will quote clause number 11. Then relate it with the facts of the case and say that the person is guilty. You got the point or not? Yes, sir. Now, sir, in this question, it has been assumed since the other people were not members of the institute, they were also not the members of professional body with prescribed qualification. They were also not the people having prescribed qualifications and professional body. This thing has been assumed in this part. Got it or not? Yes, sir. So it was a direct question. Now let's move to question 73B. CA Ram. Are you people there with me on 73B? Come on. Yes, sir. So 73B says CA Ram is a practicing in the field of financial management planning for over 12 years. He has gained expertise in this domain. Mr. Ratan, a student of CA course, is very much impressed with the knowledge of Ram. He approached CA Ram to take guidance on some topics of financial management subject. Ram, on the request, decided to spare some time and started providing private tutorship to Mr. Ratan. Is private tutorship allowed? Answer is yes. Private tutorship, general permission is available. He forgot to take specific permission for the private tutorship. Is any specific permission required? Answer is no. Acha, for how many hours? For how many hours this thing is allowed? You need to tell me. For how many hours per week this thing is allowed without any specific permission? 25 hours a week. So how you need to write the answer? See, first of all, clause number 11, then regulation number 190A, which talks about your general permission. That accordingly, there is no specific permission for private tutorship. This is generally allowed and not guilty. If you want, you can additionally quote only he can teach 25 hours a week maximum. Okay? Because ICI ka na, there is no, you can say, they do whatever they like. Okay? So whatever related provision is there, they can put in their suggested answer. So I will request you, please add this provision also in your answer. Okay? Which question done? 73B done, sir. Now let's move to question number 76. Sanyam. Sanyam, a CA in practice, is the owner of 3 agricultural land. Very, very rich. He lost his father due to COVID pandemic, and after the death of his father, he started carrying out agricultural activities. His neighbor Raja is also a farmer, filed a complaint against him to ICI that he is carrying out agricultural activity. Did I say that our nation is an agricultural nation, sir? Our nation is an agricultural nation. So agricultural activity ke liye ICI has again given a general permission. This thing is allowed. There is no problem. So you have to examine the same. What is the point of examining? Write clause 11. Then write general permission is available for this activity and there is no misconduct. There is no misconduct. Sanyam is not guilty. Acha, whenever you are writing the answer, what are the things that you will underline? Sir, clause is something we will underline. Then facts of the case we will underline agricultural activities covered under general permission. And the last thing that you will underline is Sanyam is not guilty. Got it? Got it, sir. Now let's move to question number 81. See, slowly all the questions will be done. Okay? CA Mehta. CA Mehta was appointed as the auditor of CS Limited in the place of retiring auditor CA Gupta. Mehta accepted the appointment after obtaining a certificate from the management that the provisions of 139 and 140 have been complied. Comment with reference to CA Act 1949. Everyone, please tell me this answer. Everyone, please tell me this answer. In clause 9, what does it say? Sir, it says a word that you have to ascertain. You have to ascertain that whether the company has complied with your section 139 and 140 for your appointment. When I say the word ascertain, is written representation sufficient? Is written representation sufficient? The answer is no. Ascertain means you need to check proper records. Oh, you need to check proper records, and if the company says no, then Baba, in this case, you should not accept the audit. Then in this case, you should not accept the audit. This is something that you should know. Okay? So how you need to write this answer? Facts of the case, clause 9. Then say that it is obligatory for you to know that appropriate procedure was followed for your appointment, so that later on no one can challenge the validity of appointment. Same line was given in clause 9 before also. Then sir, it says that you have to ascertain. Ascertain means you have to find out certain. You should be certain about it. Okay? Now they are explaining the English. This would mean that you have to check the records. You have to check the relevant records, not sufficient to accept the certificate. So whatever I told you, just write it in English. Simple English you need to write. So if the company is not willing, then you should not accept. Then you should not accept. So Mehta should not accepted the assignment. But on the other hand, if he accepted, he will be deemed to be guilty. Easy. Tell me one thing. Easy peasy. Easy peasy, sir. Now let's move to question number 93 and 96. Come with me to question 93, 96. Chalo. Where is the 93? Where is the 93? We are coming question 93. See, question number 93 is a recent question of your RTP May 24. Everyone excited. Comment on the following with reference to Chartered Accountant Act 1949. CA Pankaj accepted the professional work of acting as a valuer. Valuer under the direct taxes and charges fees based on the percentage of property valued. Please tell me, can a person charge fees for the valuation purpose? Yes or no? CRV, Fund Management Services. Again, cooperative society, receiver or liquidator, registered valuer for the purpose of direct taxes and valuation. And then sir, fund management services means fundraising services, cost optimization services, management services, and last point was non-assurance service to the non-audit client. So this was covered in the exception. So it says you will write clause 10 first. Then regulation 192, which gives you exemption that valuer for the purpose of direct taxes and duties, fees can be based on percentage of value and he will not be held guilty. Now my question to everyone. If I was given the valuation purpose, let's say valuation purpose was related to filing the documents with a regulatory authority. Valuation purpose was related to, let's say, obtaining a loan or filing the documents with any authority. Can I do the valuation wala work then based on the percentage of fees? Something which has no relation to the direct taxes and duties. Is that thing allowed now? Not on percentage basis. Then that cannot be done on percentage basis. So not only valuation. See, ICI is now playing with the words. These people have become players. So when they are playing the words, you should know the purpose should always be taxation and duties. Why, sir? Because more the property is valued higher, beneficial it is for the government. More benefit will go to the government because higher the value, higher the stamp duties for the government. So always remember this valuation wala thing only for the purpose of direct taxes and duties is allowed. Otherwise, this is not allowed. Got it, sir. Now comes question number 96. Everyone, please look at the board. CS Sumati. Sumati is a practicing CA having the office in Mumbai. Sumati is the owner of domain .net. अच्छा, this is the domain, हाँ ठीक है, she is the owner. In order to generate additional revenue, she sold the domain to XYZ Limited for earning royalty of 2,25,000. One of the directors of XYZ Limited contended that Sumati, being a practicing CA, has violated the code of conduct. Sumati said, no, 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 no. There is no violation of code of conduct, as selling a domain is not related to professional assignment, which requires approval of institute. You people tell me, earning the royalty from selling the domain name, can I say it is also in the nature of business? It is also in the nature of earning a revenue? Answer is yes. Is it something related to CA in practice? No, sir. This is not related to CA in practice. So tell me one thing. Is it covered in general permission? Because there are only two things, either general permission or specific or prior approval. Is it covered under general permission? Answer is no. So something which is not covered under general permission will be covered under specific or prior approval. So last line that is given in your professional ethics, if you come to clause number 11. If you come to clause number 11, everyone see clause 11. Sir, what does the last line says? The last line of your clause 11 says any other business or occupation for which the executive committee consider permission may be granted. So if there is any other business or occupation, it gets covered under specific and prior approval only. So you will start your answer with clause 11. You will write the proviso. Most of the students forget the proviso. Don't forget the proviso. Then regulation 190A says you should not engage in any other business or occupation except with the permission by a resolution. And then last may say it is any other business or occupation for which approval is needed. So Sumati is guilty. Got the point? Yes, sir. Now let's do one more question, question 36B, and all your questions till part 1 of first schedule will be done. Quickly come with me to question number 36B. Chalo sir. Agarwal Private Limited approached CA Prem, a CA in practice, for debt recovery services. CA Prem accepted the work and insisted that the fee should be 2% of the debt recovered. Please tell me, is debt recovery services allowed? Is debt recovery services allowed? CRV, Fund Management Services, is the debt recovery services allowed or not? Please tell me. Sir, yes, cost optimization and debt recovery services are allowed. Cost optimization and debt recovery services are allowed. So please remember, sir, what? First of all, clause number 10, then regulation 192, and say debt recovery services can be based on the percentage of debt recovered, and he will again not be held guilty. So all your clauses 8, 9, 10, 11 of your part 1 of the first schedule, basically part 1 of the first schedule ka all the questions that have been asked by ICAI in your question bank, all of them are done. Okay? So now in the next session, what we are going to do, we are going to cover the questions of part 2, 3, 4 and clause number 1, 2, 3, 4 of your second schedule. Okay? Acha, next session is happening right now only. I have just put the recording off. Okay? So let's take a 2 minutes ka break, and just after the 2 minutes ka break, we'll continue with the remaining questions. Okay? Chalo, yes everyone. Now let's begin with the questions. First of all, come to question number 14. Everyone come to question number 14. I hope the audio video all good. Yes sir, everything good, gonna good. Thank you so much Shivi, keep going. XYZ and Company Limited. XYZ and Company Limited has applied to the bank for loan facilities. All these companies do what, sir? They take loan from the bank, CA is involved, full party. Bank on studying the financial statements of the company notices that you are the auditor. Who is the auditor? You are the auditor. And request you to call at the bank for discussion. So as an auditor, you called at the bank. In the course of discussion, bank asks for your opinion regarding the company and ask detailed information regarding the few items in the financial statement. This information is available in your working paper. So indirectly, can I say they are asking for your working paper? What should be your response and why? So first of all, which clause will get attracted? Sir, one number confidentiality. We should always have one number confidentiality. So clause 1 part 1 of your second schedule. So this is the clause that you will quote, that a CA in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he discloses any information that he has acquired in the course of professional engagement, to any person. If he discloses to any person, he will be guilty other than his client. If he is disclosing to client, it is allowed without the consent of the client or otherwise required by the law for the time being in force. If the law requires, you can disclose. Then sir, what is the additional thing that you will disclose here, that you will add here? Sir, SA 200. SA 200 also said that as an auditor, we have to maintain some ethical requirement, and one of them is confidentiality. We should be maintaining confidentiality as an auditor. Apart from SA 200, can I say there was a SQC 1 and SA 230? Sir, both of them told that whatever is your documentation, it is the property of the auditor. It is the property of the auditor. And being a property of the auditor, it is the auditor's discretion. It is the auditor's own choice whether he wants to share the documentation or not. And while discretion, he has to consider that it should not undermine. It should not undermine two things, sir: validity of the work performed. No one should question whether he has done the work properly or not. And in case of audit, what is the most important element? Sir, independence. Independence is the most important element. So it should not undermine the independence of the auditor. So all these things should also be there in your answer along with clause 1. So SA 200, SA 230, SQC 1. Why SA 220 and SQC 1? Because SQC 1 talks about firm engagement documentation and SA 230 specifically talks about audit documentation. So documentation is the property of the auditor, and being his discretion, he can decide whether to share the extracts of working paper, but it should not undermine validity of work performed or the independence. So SA 200 is something you will quote. Plus working papers are the property of auditor. He can make the portions available, but it should not undermine the validity of work performed or independence. And last may, no requirement compelling the auditor to share the information with the people. Got the point or not? Yes, sir. Now, since we are done with question number 14, let's move to question number 16. What does question 16 says? Everyone focus here. Question 16 says, Mr. D, a practicing CA, is appointed as a director in XYZ Private Limited. After 1 year of appointment, D resigned as a director and accepted the position of statutory auditor. Please tell me, when I am resigning as a director, after how many years I can come out of those feelings? I can come out of those feelings as a director for the company and I can join as an auditor. How much time will it take me to lose that interest that I'm having in the company? Sir, 2 years. 2 years it will take for you to come out of those feelings as a director. So 2 years ka cooling period is there, where we learnt it. Sir, where there was also 20% substantial interest. So 2 ka square is called 4. Clause 4 part 1 of your second schedule. Clause 4 part 1 of your second schedule. What does clause 4 says? It says a CA in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he expresses the opinion on the financial statements of a business or a concern in which either he or his firm or any partner of the firm has a substantial interest. Then sir, you will say, as per the clarification of counsel, if a person is resigning as a director, he can join as an auditor after a period of 2 years. Write the facts of the case and say he is guilty of professional misconduct. Section 141 just says that you cannot become the auditor if you are the director or officer or POPE POPE means partner of the officer, partner of the employee, or employee of the officer or employee of the employee, then you cannot join. So this is one part of the section 141 that you can additionally quote. So please mark it from next revision point of view. Now, sir, since we are done with question number 16, now let's move to question number 35. 35, where are you? 35, here are you. A firm of CAs was appointed by a company to evaluate the cost of various products manufactured by it for its information system. One of the partners of the firm is a non-executive director of the company. If one of my partner is a non-executive director of the company, partner is the officer of the company, can I do the audit of the company? No. Can I provide an opinion on the financial statements? No. But can I evaluate the cost of the products? Answer is yes. Answer is yes. Why, sir? Because this is not something on which I am giving an opinion on the financial statement. This is a very basic service that I am doing for the management. So clause 4, council has said that where the member is the director of the company or firm, he's a member, is a partner, he should not express the opinion on financial statement. This is a part of management consultancy services, so it will not be a misconduct and it is allowed. So be very logical. ठीक है? ठीक है sir, done. Now move to question number 43. 43. Here it is. Comment with reference to Chartered Accountant in 1949. CAD, a practicing CA, was appointed as a solicitor director in a private limited company on 1st January 2020. After serving 18 months, he resigned as a director. Then he accepted the appointment as the statutory auditor of the company with effect from 1st October 2021. Sir, what is happening? What is happening? So basically, a person is resigning as a director. He is resigning as a director when? Sir, he is resigning as a director after serving for 18 months. So when does the 18 months get completed after 1st January? Sir, 12 months get completed on 1st January 2021. Got it, sir? And after that 12 months ke you should add 6 months also. So if I add 6 months, it is around June. It is around June. So you can say 1st of July, basically. 1st of July 2021, he must have resigned. When he has resigned on 1st of July, can he accept the appointment as an auditor on 1st October? Answer is no. 2 years ka cooling period is there. Everyone do with me. 2 years ka cooling period is there. So clause 4, again section 141 ka reference, facts of the case and say guilty under clause 4. Acha, tell me one thing. Has ICI done any calculation of months and years? Has ICI done any calculation? No, sir. They have just given clause 4, and in every question of this director wala thing, they add section 141 that it prohibits a member from auditing if he is an officer or employee. ठीक है? This is the just point that you need to quote. Then as per the clarification, don't accept the audit with it for 2 years. Then just write the facts of the case and say the person is guilty. Clear, boss? Clear, sir. Now come with me to question number 62. Everybody gonna dance on the song. Where is 62? Sir, here it is. November 18, new syllabus. XYZ Associates, a CA firm, is having a relationship. Oh my God. Relationship with a multinational accounting firm in India. The ICI required that all the firms having networking relationships with any other entity need to furnish the information online within a stipulated time. XYZ Associates failed to respond. Comment on this with reference to professional misconduct. Sir, this is which clause? This is which clause, sir? This is which clause? Arey Baba, remember, there was a part in which there were 3 Fs. What were the three F's? Sir, first F was related to fellow. Another F was related to failure to provide the information to ICI, its council, its committee, body, DD, DC, Board of Discipline, Directorate Discipline, Disciplinary Committee, and then Quality Review Board and Appellate Authority. And then the other one talked about false information. False information under clause 6 and 7 ka provisos. So can I say I am talking about this? Failure to provide the information or comply with the requirements of ICI, its council, its committees, DD, body, DC, appellate authority, and quality review board. Answer is yes. So this is your clause number 2, part number 3 of your first schedule, which says a member will be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he does not supply the information or does not comply with the requirements of the ICI, its council, its committees, DD, body, DC, quality review board, or appellate authority. Then Baba just write the facts of the case and then say that the person is guilty. 4 marks in the pocket. Done, done. Easy. Arey, easy sir. Now after 62, come with me to question number 68. Sir, what does question 68 talks about? A CA in practice, you are asked to conduct a review of the profit forecast prepared by a company in connection with its application for term loans. Whenever I am saying profit forecast, they say profit forecast. What do you call it? Sir, we call it report on EOE. What was EOE? Clause 3 EOE. Clause 3 EOE. What was EOE? Sir, a CA in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he permits his name or the name of his firm. He permits his name or the name of his firm to be used in connection with the EOE, estimate of earnings. And these earnings are contingent, dependent on the future transaction in a manner that he makes the other person believe that he vouches for the accuracy of forecast. So what he can do? Bus. Sir, 3 things need to be written. What were the 3 things need to be written? Sir, bus means basis of forecast. A for assumptions. Where is the assumption? Assumption. S for source of information, and he needs to say that he doesn't vouch for the accuracy of forecast. So these 3 things should be there in your forecast in this report. Source of information should be disclosed, basis of forecast, assumptions, plus he should state that he does not vouch for the accuracy of forecast. Along with this, SAE 3400, you can say a reference you can give. This we study in detail with SAE 3400. So when this topic comes there, I will relate with that. Got it, sir? And hence this offer can be accepted if the above requirements are met. Got it, sir. Question 68 done. Now after question 68, let's move to question 75. I hope you're enjoying, huh? Full party. Mr. Shanti. How can Mr. be a Shanti? Sir, everything is possible. Okay, let's just focus on the board. Mr. Shanti, a CA employed as a paid assistant with a CA firm, leaves the services of the firm on 31st December 2020. Despite many reminders from ICI, he fails to reply regarding the date of leaving the services of the firm. Got it, sir? Similarly happens with CA Anita, RTP May 24. Focus on the question. Very important question from exam point of view. Joined as an audit executive in a CA firm on 1st April 2023. Despite receiving multiple reminders from ICI, failed to respond with her appointment date and membership certificate. Which clause will come here? Sir, same thing. Same thing that we just covered before. Clause 2, part 3 of the first schedule. Failed to comply with the requirements or provide the information to ICI, council, committee. DD, body, DC, Directorate Discipline, Board of Discipline, Disciplinary Committee. Then their appellate authority and quality review board, facts of the case, and say that the person is guilty. Clear, boss? Clear, sir. Question 75 done. Now let's move to question number 79. Where is 79? 79 is here. Mr. Shreyansh, a chartered accountant in practice, was invited to deliver a seminar on the amendments in Schedule 3 and CARO 2020, which was attended by the professionals as well as representatives of various industry. One section of the audience raised a particular issue unique to the industry to which it pertains. Mr. Shreyansh enthusiastically explained the issue and elaborated how he solved this for his client facing the same issue. He gave the examples from the computer storage devices using the actual data of the client. Oh my God. He's sharing the actual data of the client in open with everyone. Got it, sir? Comment with reference to Chartered Accountant Act 1949. Can I share my client's data with everyone? No, sir. What gets affected here? Confidentiality. Confidentiality. So clause 1, part 1 of second schedule. In confidentiality, just remember one point, SA 200 ka reference you also need to give, that the auditor should respect the confidentiality of information acquired during the work and not disclose it to any third party without specific authority or requirement of law. Then write the facts of the case and relate it with that and say that the person will be liable for professional misconduct. Can you people tell me why did not I write about the work papers? Why the work paper wala point was not given here? Because no one asked me for my work paper. Nowhere in the question it was written about the work paper. So no point of writing about the work paper. So just write clause number 1 and talk about SA 200 ka confidentiality. Then after 79 come to question number 100. 84A. Sorry, 84A. Then after 84A we will do the question 100. Let's see what does question 84A talks about. CA Dev. He started his practice in Punjab. Brrrah! CA Dev issued a turnover certificate for Messrs. Assaus Traders to be forwarded to the bank for the purpose of availing cash credit facility and machinery term loan. Brother of CA Dev was the proprietor of this trader wala thing. Can I say he is issuing a certification or opinion of an entity in which his own brother is the proprietor? Which clause will get attracted? This is substantial interest. This is substantial interest. So clause 4 part 1 of second schedule says a CA in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he expresses the opinion on the financial statements of a business or enterprise in which he, his partner or the firm has substantial interest. Not permissible to take any assignment of certification also where the relative is the member, and relative ke liye you need to refer AS 18 ka definition. Then write the facts of the case and say CA Dev is guilty of professional misconduct. Got the point or not? Yes, sir. So if you want in your notes, you can just go there and write just below clause number 4 that for the purpose of relative AS 18 definition has to be referred. Okay? And opinion includes certification wala task. Now let's move to the last question of this session, that is question number 100. Take 2 sips of water and get ready. Come to question 100. Chalo. SR and Associates are the statutory auditor of ABC Limited. Audit of the company is pending for financial year 21-22 and 22-23. Due to a dispute between the auditor and company with respect to certain remarks by the auditor in the audit report, company has removed the auditor in the shareholder meeting, complying with all the legal formality. Now when the auditor was removed, after coming to know about the removal, he intimated the registrar of companies through a letter highlighting the points of dispute, including the non-existence of fixed assets, bogus creditor, etc. ABC Limited complained to ICI against the auditor for the letter to the ROC. Talk about this clause. Please tell me which clause is this. Sir, whenever you are disclosing the company's information, confidentiality gets affected. Say with me, confidentiality gets affected. So again, what will happen? Sir, the same thing. Again, the same thing will happen. First of all, you will write clause 1, part 1 of your second schedule. Then, sir, you will say, sir, what? This is one thing that ICI has given additional. Let's read through it. What they have written. No other question of confidentiality has this part. Only this question has this part. So you have to accept that maybe in the exam, whenever your suggested answers are prepared or marking scheme is prepared, there can be 1 or 2 such points that ICI is adding additionally on its own. So in this, they are saying an accountant in public practice has access to a great deal of information of the client, which is of a confidential character. he should be maintaining dignity and status of the profession, and the confidentiality wala thing continues even after the completion of assignment. Maybe even though we have discussed these points, it may not be very easy for you to frame these lines and write in the answer that way. So at least quote the clause, at least relate the clause with the facts of the case, and last may write that sir, the person will be guilty where it is written. In the given situation, SR and Associates complained to the Registrar of Companies. SR and Associates made the voluntary disclosure without the consent of the client or without any requirement of law. So you should also add additionally that they are guilty of professional misconduct under clause 1, part 1 of your second schedule. Got it? Got it, sir. So here all your questions almost are done. Let me just see. Let's do question 99 also. Let's do question 99 also. It is also one of the provisions that we have already covered. Let's see what this question talks about, and let's see who all are able to get it right. A recent question of MTP2 November 23. Mr. Raj, a practicing CA was ordered to surrender his certificate of practice. He was suspended for 2 years because he accepted the appointment as an auditor of a company without checking the compliance with section 139 and 140 read with section 141. Under which clause he must have been suspended? Clause 9, section 139. During the period of suspension, Raj designated himself as a data privacy consultant, did the work of filing data privacy returns, and made appearance as a consultant before the related authority in other capacity other than chartered accountant in practice. He contended that there is nothing wrong in this. Like any other consultant, he can take up such work, and he has no way violated the order of suspension. Kindly guide whether Mr. Raj can appear before the data privacy authorities when he is under the period of suspension of section 6. Please tell me what should be the right answer here. What do you people think is the right answer? Can I do the data privacy related work? Yes or no? The answer is Shivi says, sir, he cannot appear. Oh my God. Others? Hanika says no. You people tell me. If a CA's certificate of practice is suspended, okay, he cannot do the CA related work. But how can you stop him from doing any other work? How will he earn the bread for his family? How will he earn the butter naan and lababdar paneer for his family? Sir, it will be very tough for him. It is understandable that he cannot do the CA wala work, but he should be allowed to do any other work. Data privacy consultant, for becoming that, is becoming a CA necessary? Sir, the answer is no. So the example that we cover in our book, that is related to income tax authority ka representation. For representing before income tax authority, CA wala degree is necessary. CA degree is necessary, but now if I am talking about data privacy consultant, for that CA has no role to play. So this is allowed. This is allowed. So just have this conceptual clarity. So first of all, you will write section 6. So this is the additional thing that you need to remember. Section 6 mein you will need to write that for practicing as a CA, you need a certificate of practice. Since you have a certificate of practice, you also need to pay the annual fees. If you don't pay the annual fees, your certificate of practice may be cancelled. So just relate these 3 points. For practicing as a CA in India, outside India, you need a COP. Or for carrying the COP, you need to pay annual fees. And last, if you don't pay the COP, your certificate may be cancelled. Now write the provisions that we learn from the book. That once a person becomes a member of the institute, he is bound by the provisions of the act and the regulation. If he is appearing before income tax tribunal as an income tax representative, that he is doing in the capacity as a chartered accountant and a member of the institute, and having brought himself in the jurisdiction of CA Act, he cannot make fun of these regulations. He cannot set the regulations at naught by contending that even though he continues to be a member of the institute and being punished by suspension, he will be entitled to practice in some other capacity. But in the given case, is he appearing before income tax authority? Answer is no. In the given case, he is acting as a data privacy consultant, not appearing in the capacity of a CA in practice, so he has not violated the suspension order. Good question. Good question. Yes, sir. A really, really good question. Let me just see any other question that we can do. Is there any other question that we can do? Let me just check. Tell me the answer of question 31. ठीक है, few more questions I want to cover with you. Mr. P, a practicing CA did not reply within reasonable time and without any cause to the letter received from local police station, a public authority. Which clause will be attracted? Sir, we learned certain examples of other misconduct. In one of those examples of other misconduct was if the CA is not replying to the letter of public authority, it is a other misconduct. So how you need to frame the answer of other misconduct, because many students get confused in this. 4 points need to be there in your answer of other misconduct. Sir, what? First of all, you will quote clause number 2, part number 4 of your first schedule. Then sir, you will quote part 3 and part 4. Sir, how part 3 or part 4? Part 3 of your second schedule and part 4 of your first schedule, that they talk about other misconduct. Apart from this, you also need to write about section 21. It says that a CA shall be guilty of professional or other misconduct in certain cases. And then sir, which is the other line that you need to write? That sir, a CA is expected to maintain highest standards of integrity. A CA in practice is expected to maintain highest standards of integrity. Any deviation from these standards will expose him to disciplinary action. Okay? So this is the line. You got the point or not? Yes, sir. So section 21, this line. Apart from this, clause 2, part 4, part 3, part 4. Why I'm telling you all this? Because in some question ICAI writes the clause. In some question they just write these parts. In some question they just write this section. So I will suggest, if you want to score full out of full marks, write all the 3 points along with this line and just say that the person is liable for professional misconduct. Got the point or not? Yes, sir. So I think these much questions are enough for this session. I hope you enjoyed this session. Now in the next session, we will cover the questions of subsequent clauses. ठीक है? Thank you so much for attending the session. If you like, do like this video, and yeah, stay connected for more such amazing sessions. Have a great day ahead. Let's catch up in the next session, and keep studying with happiness, because when we study with happiness, then only we progress. Keep going.